Kitchen Queen Annabel Langbein is taking us on a culinary journey from the garden to the table this morning. Hi Annabel, tell us about your beautiful garden and what's ready to be harvested this morning.
It's very nippy out here, very fresh, but we just had a beautiful rainbow.
Yeah, there's been a few of those about, hasn't there? I mean, they're amazing, so bright.
I know, it's fantastic. It's a sign of spring on the way, I think.
Let's hope so.
Good, good. What have you got in your bucket there?
In my bucket, I've already picked the windfall oranges that were from the orange tree over here, and then I've just picked a big bunch of rhubarb, which I'm going to stew up. We've got porridge and rhubarb for breakfast, and then I thought we'd make some fried rice. Nice, economical, delicious. I've got spring onions, so I thought we'd pick a couple of those.
Yeah. And
some carrots, and it's one of those things you can put anything you like in, really. You know, you can use celery or mixed greens, or I probably wouldn't put beetroot in it, but
yeah,
most things you can.
How easy did you find it to grow rhubarb?
Well, actually, in Auckland it'll grow really well, and once you've got the crowns in the ground, they'll grow for years and years and years. So it's not something that you need to replant.
Fantastic.
And what about the spring onions? Are they easy?
My earpiece out.
Oh.
There we are. I've got you again.
Spring onions, easy to grow?
Yeah, really, and actually I think there's something everyone should have, even if you just got a pot on the deck, because there's something which you think about how often you use them in your cooking, and they make all the difference. You know, I'm going to put them in the fried rice, and it's the thing that will make it really taste fresh and zany.
Yeah, and it looks like you've got a fairly decent veggie garden going on there. Do you?
I have, actually.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. I'm right in the heart of the city, and I built this potager about 18 years ago.
Wow.
And we can almost live off it, apart from things like potatoes and kumaras, and maybe I don't grow enough onions because I use a lot of them.
Right, is that just a space thing? That's why you don't have so many?
Yeah, because actually they take a huge amount of space, potatoes, and you need to rotate them all the time.
Right.
Over your right shoulder there.
Can
you hear us? 1, 2, test.
I can hear you.
Good.
I'm sorry. I've probably got, there we are, that's better.
You're right. Now, over your right shoulder there, are they broad beans?
Broad beans, and they're flowering at this time of the year, which is fantastic.
Beautiful,
yeah, I'm really pleased.
My broad beans are only about 2 or 3 centimetres tall. Have I missed the boat?
No, you're on the spot.
Okay.
But the thing about them is that you keep planting them. So we've just planted some more, so you get a succession right the way through. Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's the trick. I've got broccoli ready here, but we planted that in January, so it takes you've got to be thinking ahead of it.
Yeah. What are you enjoying the most out of your garden at the moment? What can you just sort of pick and eat at any time?
Oh, the rocket has been really good, and I've got this really lovely salad green just over here. I don't know if we can see it, but it's called land cress.
Oh yeah.
And not land cress. No, this is this little marche, lamb's lettuce.
Yeah.
And it's really sweet. It's a fantastic, because often if in the winter you get greens, you think, oh, I can't grow greens, but something like lamb's lettuce will grow really well.
Do you know what I think, Annabel, is I don't want to eat salads and lettuces, but I'm still growing rocket at the moment, but I'm kind of turning my nose up at it.
Well, have you tried, sautéing it just as you might spinach, just with a little bit of olive oil?
Nice.
It's a really nice green to have with rice, or if you've made a stew.
Yeah, good idea.
So what you're going to do is you're going to take what you've got and take it inside, and then we're going to join you, and you're going to cook something for us from your garden.
Something really simple and delicious. I've already made one round of this morning for my son before he went off to school, so he's already had it. So I'll make one for you. I'm just going to pick some carrots, very tiny new season's carrots, but I'm raiding my garden for you specially. And actually, do you know what I did? I thinned the carrots, and then I just replanted the thinnings. You know, people throw the thinnings away.
Yeah.
So I just got another whole crop out of the thinnings.
Fantastic. We're going to see you in about half an hour, Annabel. Cook away.
Fantastic.
Our lucky old crew that's going to be with Annabel Langbein having, what was she making? Stewed rhubarb and porridge and fried rice.
Fried rice.
Kitchen Queen Annabel Langbein is taking us on a culinary journey from the garden to the table this morning.
She's inside now. Annabel, remind us of what you're actually cooking and where you're up to exactly.
Yeah, you guys should be here for breakfast. It's looking really good. And a little bonus, I've actually got marmalade on the stove here boiling away. I'm a very keen preserver, so I've got my little winter sort of preserves happening. Stewed rhubarb, really easy to do. Just get the rhubarb, cut it up in little bits into a pot with some water and sugar. And it simmers for about 10 minutes, then it's 10 minutes. Fantastic stewed fruit. Keep in the fridge for weeks, you can freeze it. And we've got porridge, which is the staff of life in our household.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to make a little fried rice, because I think it's a really simple thing to do. Tastes great. You can take it for lunch to work, or you can have it for breakfast, or you can have it for dinner.
Okay,
Fabulous.
that's good. Now, my mum puts a slice of lemon into the rhubarb when she's doing it. Do you do that?
Oh, that would be really nice, actually, because you do use a horrific amount of sugar.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I love rhubarb. It's actually really good for you as well.
What's it got in it? Antioxidants, is it?
It's got antioxidants and it's got calcium of all things as well.
Right.
I think.
You don't want to go near the leaves, though, eh?
No, the leaves are really poisonous, and you can actually munch them up and use them as a spray, because we grow everything organically out there. And I don't know if you noticed, I didn't show you all the slugs and snails that I'm trying to fight off. It's a race every morning to see who's going to get their first meal, the slugs.
Annabel, we're going to
you can use that as a spray to get rid of bugs.
Good advice. We're going to check back in with you in about 10 minutes when you're going to be ready to serve up to our lucky crew.
Fantastic.
Thanks,
See you
Annabel.
then.
Okay, let's check back with Chef Annabel Langbein, who's just harvested a bumper crop of winter veggies from her gorgeous garden. How's it looking, Annabel?
Well, actually, it's looking delicious. But I must say, I thought the pickings out there were a bit lean because I didn't have my Savoy cabbages. I've already eaten all of them this winter.
Nice.
So in here, I've got some carrots that we picked and the spring onions frying with a little bit of bacon. And I think lots of people think that when you have you make something like fried rice, you have to have a real recipe, but it's a great thing to make if you had cabbage, you had celery, you had bean sprouts, carrots. I always like carrots in it.
Are you going to go for a bit of a
egg.
Fu Young sort of touch to it with the egg?
I am, and I like the egg in there, and I put fish sauce in with the egg.
Right.
I think that sounds weird.
Why do you do
It
that?
means I don't have to use salt, and it gives it this really lovely depth of flavour. I mean, you know how fish sauce is such a stinky ingredient, but when you cook it, it's just marvellous. It's got this stuff called umami in it, which is the fifth taste. Sweet, sour, salty, bitter, and umami gives things the depth of flavour. And it means you don't have to use as much fat. So anyway, I'm just putting that on the side. This is not a traditional way that you would make it. Normally, you might make an omelette first, but I figure, you know, why not do it all in one pan? It makes it a lot easier.
Sorry, is the rice in there yet?
The rice is already cooked, and so you want quite dry rice. I've just got jasmine rice here that's quite dry. And as soon as that omelette's cooked, I'm just going to mix. There we are. See how that's now nearly cooked?
Yes.
So I can just break that up and then mix it through. Add the rice in. And then you can, as much or as little. As I said, we already made this morning for the kids for lunch to go to school.
There's a bit of soy?
I love it.
Is that a bit of soy?
sauce.
Yeah.
And you could put garlic in, you could put ginger in, and I put the tops of the spring onions in now, just to keep them really green. So just cook off the carrots first with the base of the spring onions, or if you didn't have spring onions, you could use regular onions.
Because sometimes it's hard to know, Annabel, how much to cook spring onions and whether you should just use it as a garnish, but you're putting it in...
Just the green part, put that in at the end. And when the rice was cold in the fridge, so it's kind of clumped up a wee bit there. But look at that, it's ready.
Brilliant.
So that's dish number one. And here's dish number two, porridge. I love porridge. Just rolled oats, water, and a little bit of salt. And Stacey was saying, was it you? No, it wasn't you were saying. Someone was saying that they really like it with almond butter.
Oh, yeah, yum, yum.
And my husband said you can sometimes put an egg in at the end as well.
Oh.
So look at that, just a bit of rhubarb on the top there.
Fresh from the garden.
How's this looking? Fresh from the garden, stewed rhubarb, porridge, bit of yogurt over the top.
Yum, that looks delicious. And of course, plenty more recipes to be found on your website, Annabel, annabellangbein.com.
Yeah.
But that's all from your garden, pretty much.
These are all from the garden and from my latest book, Eat Fresh. So I hope you enjoy. I might have to send some back to the studio.
Yeah, could you? One thing I do like doing with this fried rice is actually leaving it in there for a little bit so that that you get those little crunchy sort of...
caramelised bits. Yeah, I like that too.
That's right.
It's just happening at the bottom there now.
Yeah.
It's really delicious.
And it's nice the next day too, isn't it?
Yeah, I just think it's one of those really versatile dishes. If you've got it in your repertoire and you've got hungry kids or you're hungry, the other thing about rice is that you can cook it in bulk and you can freeze it. So you don't have to go and buy that ready par-cooked rice and all that sort of industrial food. You can just get good rice, cook it, and then if you've got leftover, it'll keep in the fridge for a few days, or freeze it. And then you can just pull it out and you've got something yummy.
Annabel, thank you very much for that.
4-minute treat.
You're very inspirational. Thank you so much.
Really?
Nice to see you.
Might be fried rice at my house for dinner tonight, I reckon.
Yeah,
or breakfast.
Throughout the country.